In 1993, the National Postal Museum was opened in the historic City Post Office building, which was constructed in 1914. It was built next to the Union Station complex about 7 years after the station opened. This building served as Washington, D.C.'s post office from 1914 through 1986. The museum is part of the collections of museums run by the Smithsonian Institution. The National Postal Museum houses one of the largest and most significant philatelic and postal history collections in the world, and one of the world's most comprehensive library resources on philately and postal history. Philately is the collection and study of postage stamps. The museum's many exhibit galleries present America's postal histories from the colonial times to the present. This rich history of the U.S. postal system is on display in 35,000 square feet of gallery space spread over 2 floors and 6,000 square feet devoted to research libraries, a stamp store, and a museum shop. On display in several locations throughout the museum are postal boxes from around the world. They remind us that no matter what country you consider home, the postal system is most likely to have been part of your life. The museum contains 18 galleries that are spread over 2 floors. The first floor is entered from the main lobby through a marble-clad portal onto an escalator which takes you to an expansive atrium. From here, there are 7 exhibit galleries, of which the atrium is one. These galleries are Moving the Mail, Binding the Nation, Customers and Communities, Systems at Work, Behind the Badge, Mail Call, and a special exhibit gallery which is currently devoted to delivering the mail. The highlighted galleries are explored in this video. Other galleries are equally informative and well done. Moving the Mail. The 90-foot-high atrium on the first floor displays various artifacts used to move the mail through the history of the Postal Service. Transportation by air, rail, road, trails, and foot have been used by the Post Office to maintain this critical element of providing good mail service. Binding the Nation. George Washington envisioned a nation bound together by a system of post roads and post offices. Such a system did not come about easily. Benjamin Franklin was named Postmaster General for the British Crown colonies, and he began improving the system even before the U.S. was a nation. The exhibits tell the story of how Americans secured communications across the continent in the 18th and 19th century. Through transportation innovation and human endeavors, numerous communication challenges were overcome as the U.S. gained more territory across the continent. Within the gallery are presentations on starting the system, the post and the press, expanding the nation, and moving west. Behind the Badge. This exhibit explores the mission and duty of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, which is the law enforcement arm of the Postal Service. The exhibit examines the Inspector Service history and the work through some of its most famous and remarkable cases. Visitors learn how the service helps protect them and shares tips on how to guard against scams and fraud. The second level of the museum is accessible from several street-level entrances. All of the galleries on this level are off the main lobby of the Postal Museum. The lobby is a beautifully restored feature of the original building. It still contains many features from the old post office that was part of the building for over 70 years. Preserved are the original mailboxes, customer service windows, and ornate marble tables that were used by customers to prepare postal material. The collection of 7 galleries on this level are named after William H. Gross, a renowned philatelist and museum benefactor. His $10 million donation created a 12,000 square foot set of galleries. The 7 galleries on this level are The World of Stamps, Gems of American Philately, Mail Marks History, Connect with U.S. Stamps, National Stamp Salon, Stamps Around the Globe, and the Postmaster's Gallery. This video highlights 2 galleries, one permanent, the Gems of American Philately, and the other, Baseball, is a rotating exhibit which occupies the Postmaster's Gallery space. The Gems of American Philately is a popular exhibit because it contains displays of rare and highly valued stamps. The display cases are filled with objects that tell stories about important moments in U.S. history, from the Stamp Act and the American Revolution to the Apollo 15 landing. Each one conveys significant information about stamp design and production, including one of the most famous stamp printing eras ever made. The baseball exhibit is the current rotating exhibit in the Postmaster's Gallery. This exhibit is filled with rare baseball memorabilia as well as stamps depicting famous baseball players, historic baseball parks, and legendary moments in the game. This gallery connects the postal system to the national pastime. The Postal Museum website provides an abundance of information about the history of the postal system, as well as many stories about this rich history. For example, here are 2 century-old stories from the postal system website. Visit the website for many more. Door knockers. Until 1916, Americans were not required to have household letterboxes. Letter carriers handed over the mail personally, ringing the bell twice to signal the mail was there, or knocking. Door knockers, like this one, saved wear and tear on the knuckles of the postman. The title of the 1946 movie, The Postman Always Rang Twice, which was remade in 1981, was inspired by this long-forgotten practice. But postal efficiency experts determined that 2 hours were being lost each day while postmen waited for the patrons to come to the door. So in 1916, the post office mandated mailboxes or mail slots for all homes. The story of Oni. In the late 1880s, postal workers in Albany, New York post office became attached to a scruffy mutt named Oni. As the story goes, Oni fell asleep on some mail bags and the clerk let him stay. Oni soon was riding mail bags across the country with the railway mail service. In 1885, he traveled with the mail bags on steamships to Asia and across Europe. The railway mail service clerk adopted Oni as their mascot and began to record the dog's travels with medals and tags attached to his collar. The postmaster, John Wanamaker, was one of the Pooch's fans. When he heard that the dog's collar was weighing him down with all the tags, he gave Oni a jacket for displaying his trophies. Oni even has its own stamp. The story of Oni marks a special place in the postal system's history, and visitors to the museum will come across many photos and likenesses of this beloved mascot. The National Postal Museum is less visited than some other Smithsonian museums. It is not on the National Mall, but is located next to Union Station, which is a metro stop. It is clearly another of the great Smithsonian treasures. It offers an expansive and unique history of the U.S. postal system, and it is intimately connected to the country it serves. It is well worth a visit.